Okay. I'm gonna look for.
Okay.
So you can talk for a minute while I figure out
Okay.
where the video went.
Oh, it should catch. Okay. Welcome to our last in service of this time, this January. Sorry, I gotta collect my thoughts. We decided to do this in service. Oh, Cindy's made it back from Mexico. So this in service is really kind of a special one because we are celebrating our 20th birthday. Aspen is 20 years old. Cindy has actually been with us from the beginning, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah. I've been here since 2007. I took a little break for a few years, but then I came back. So what we're going to do is we thought since it's the beginning of the year and we have a lot of new people, we are going to have Julie talk to us. Julie and Gary Staples are the owners, and Gary passed away. It's going to be 2 years in May, I believe. But Julie is here and she's going to talk to us. Allison, I don't know if she's going to make it down. Maybe
she has an interview.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
she may not. If she can't make it down, I'll talk for her. And then we're going to play a Jeopardy game because we thought it would be good to go over just some basic information that everyone needs to know about being on your shift and policy and good stuff to refresh your memories for those of you who've been here a long time and those of you who are new. So anyway, I'm going to let Julie take it away.
Okay. Well, we're so glad that you all have made it today. And we appreciate you making the effort to make it here, even though it's our last one. We're still excited about these fun games that they have. I've watched them twice, and I want to see if anybody can get through the whole thing. That would be like, I'm hoping for that. Hopefully we can get through the whole thing. Anyway, I just wanted to mention a little bit about starting Aspen. We started it obviously about 20 years ago. This is our birthday year. And it was such an important shift in our lives at that point of time. My husband he graduated with his graduate degree from the U, and then he'd had other jobs and he had a good management position at Exactware, and he just didn't feel fulfilled in what he was doing. And we were able to, at that point, take some time and regroup and try to decide what we wanted to do. And he tried some different things and realized they weren't fits for him. And he then eventually found the senior care business, and he's like, this is my thing. And he's loved it ever since. And he always kind of had a goal of finding people in need, and he loved to serve. And that was just who he was. And he found his little niche. And it was such a blessing to him. And he talks about it. And I'm actually going to show you a little bit about what he says. But it's just, he found what he wanted to do, and he built the company on the values of service and loving others and really taking care of our seniors. And so it turned out to be a really beautiful business that now continues on. And we're super grateful for our caregivers, and our caregivers are amazing. A lot of the ladies have been with us forever, like Cindy. You've been how long have you been with us, Cindy?
18 years.
Yeah. So she's a really good example of the longevity we have. And we're so grateful she stayed for so long. And in this little video clip, one thing that Gary points out is he realized he could choose who he surrounded himself with, and which he did with all of our caregivers. Like, he was always part of like interviewing a little bit and meeting them, and he chose people that he felt could go represent us really well and share those values that we have with our seniors. And so if you're here, which you are, that's been passed down to you, and you've been interviewed by Allison, some of you by me, and you are taking that legacy with you as you go. and you work with our seniors and you help represent what we wanted them to feel, which is we want them to feel valued and loved, because even though they're at this very difficult point in their life, they've done amazing things in their life. Like you might be taking care of somebody who's been a doctor or a professor, or raised a huge family or done wonderful things. And this is your opportunity to get to know them and see what value they contributed, and then help them as they make it through their last days. So we're grateful for you, and we're glad that you're part of this Aspen family. And then as I was thinking about what we were going to say and express about Aspen, I decided I'd go back and look at the videos that my husband had. And he has like, oh gosh, probably about 60 video clips that he did for us right before he passed. That was kind of his goal. And of course, I found a little clip that I'd like to play for you today. So I think you'll be able to hear it.
I knew I had to do something that would get me up every morning and motivate me to go to work. I also like the idea of surrounding myself with hand-picked people that I enjoyed being around. And I like the idea of providing services to those in need. I knew I liked little kids, and I like to serve those who have some special needs. And I also like serving the elderly. And that's when I landed on Aspen Senior Care. Started it. And thanks to my mother-in-law and father-in-law and their help, I was able to get Aspen Senior Care off the ground and have it be successful.
And I saw just a little clip of him, and so we try to carry that legacy on, and all of you have that same type of love and care and concern for our seniors. So thank you again, and you are the most important part. And Allison's going to talk about that in just a second, but you're who represent what Aspen means, and we're so grateful that you are representing as well. And I'm going to let Allison talk now, because she is going to say it's more comfortable to have her say the story. Would you like that? Okay, well, I'll try not to. Actually, I'm going to let you. I'll turn it that way.
Did it without pushing the off button. Yeah, welcome. Julie told a story. When Gary started the company, he asked her what was the most important part. And her response was, the clients. That's the most important part. And he said, no, it's the caregivers, right? So if we didn't have you guys, the amazing caregivers that we have, going in and caring for and loving our clients, like we wouldn't be here today. You guys go and do those things to provide the services, to help people. And this time of life for a lot of our clients is rough. They don't want to have to need help. They don't want to have to, move out of their home. And so, like, they're just so grateful that we go in and can help them stay where they want to be. And it's hard to need help from somebody for certain things. I mean, I certainly like wiping my own tush, but to have to say to somebody, hey, can you help me do this? That's a really hard thing. And so you guys go in, not everybody wipes tushes, but like we're doing things to help them, and we want to let you guys know that we're just really dedicated to helping you guys feel loved and appreciated. And we're just going to kick this year off with a big bang of how more can we appreciate and help you guys in your, what I feel is a calling, right? This is a gift that we can give, and a a lot of things you do in this life, when you die, they're gone too. But sharing your love and compassion and kindness, like that's something that doesn't ever go away. That's remembered and felt, and that's amazing. So we love you. We appreciate you. If there's something that we can be doing better or more helpful, please just come to us. We are more than happy to do whatever we can to help you guys feel loved, appreciated, and cared for, so that our clients do as well. So I'll let Diane and Karen take over so that you can play this fun, amazing game, except instead of just getting all the information like this.
Yeah, we don't want to give it in the blah sort of way. All right. However, we do have a goal of trying to get through all of the questions. So we will try to keep our answers. It's just not going on no matter what I do here. So we'll try to keep them short and sweet. You will be receiving an email, and I'll send out a text telling you to look at your email. That will have these list of questions, and it will have the answers with them as a review. So if we don't get to anything, or if you feel like, and if you have comments that we don't give you time for, please text, email, give us these comments so that we can incorporate that with our knowledge. So, all right. So the points don't matter. They're just up there because, you know, it's not Jeopardy without numbers up there, right? But we want you to be smart. We don't want you to be a smart aleck. We just want you to be smart. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Good job. All right. Because Karen, you count this time. You're going to let you pick one because you know which ones we need to pick first.
I don't remember what I wrote under there.
That's okay. Go ahead and choose one, Karen.
Oh, okay. I'll do scheduling for 800.
Scheduling for 800. Procedure for taking time off. This team.
You want to answer? Oh.
Yeah. Well, you're on this team. So anybody
Oh.
over here? Yes. I didn't. You're in teams.
Submit a time
The
off.
link, I request time off.
Request on there's a
You
time
follow
off
the
request.
link. Yeah.
There's a link, and you follow that link, and you submit this for me.
And you find the link.
In an email
It's
that was
in
sent to me
the-
once.
It's in the
Yeah.
It's in the weekly newsletter that Tori
In the
sends out.
weekly newsletter, you'll get the text saying, please click on this link, and it sends you to her newsletter. And then there is another link that then takes you to filling out your time off. We do handle last minute. My mom's in the hospital and I need to run to California. But that trip to Cancun that you've been planning for 6 weeks or 6 months, we'd like at least 2 weeks notice, please. Okay, so give us as much time as you can. That helps our scheduling team. All right, Dana.
I'm going to do on your shift for 800.
On your shift for 800, name 4 things you should have with you when you start your shift. And I forgot to hand out treats. What are some things you should have with you, April? I heard gloves.
Your uniform with your name badge.
Yep.
You have your scrubs and
Yeah.
Your phone. You better have your phone.
You better have your phone with you because that's how you clock in and clock out. It's how you document. It's how you check off the things you're supposed to do during the shift. And getting the client's signature needs your phone. Another idea that I learned from another caregiver, she said that she was on a shift and somehow, whatever happened, she ended up getting urine on her uniform. And she had a couple of other shifts that day, which that happens to all of us, right? We have more than one shift. And so she luckily had an extra pair of scrubs with her and was able to change and continue her day. So just food for thought. It made me think because I'd never considered having an extra pair with me. So, all right. Cindy.
Let's go with personal care for 800.
Do
You have to
name
be-
all fours?
I think we named a few more than 4.
There's more than
We
4.
have also rock salt, right? Or
Yes.
the ice melt for clients.
Right, rock salt is also a good thing. Your shoes, making sure they're closed-toed, disinfectant, your hand sanitizer. That if you don't have one of my small little hand sanitizers, make sure you pick one up today.
And your belts, right? You know, like if you have
Gate belt if you have one. So there's more than 4.
kit, your little kit.
Yes, your little go-to kit.
Yeah.
All right, now, what did you say,
personal
Cindy?
Personal
care.
care.
Personal care, 800? What do caregivers need to know about shaving a
Oh,
client?
gosh. How to use an electric shaver.
And how to use a non-electric shaver.
Yeah.
Actually, we
Right.
are only allowed to do electric shavers.
They're a
So,
different sometimes.
yes, they are different, but that was something I didn't know, and I'm glad I know now. So, electric shaver only.
Yeah.
So, here we go. You have to be ready to catch because, you know,
What do you mean you don't use the
we
hand one?
don't use the hand one.
Oh,
With the
okay.
blade.
Good to know.
You and I have both done it wrong, but now we know to do it better. Okay, the things you learn at in-service meetings, right?
So if they don't have an electric shaver, you just
We
need to
say,
tell
"I'm
them that
sorry,
we're
we
not,
can't
we're
do
unable
it."
to shave them.
That's exactly
Okay,
right.
good to know.
And then you talk to the office and Allison talks to them, make sure, and maybe they'll get one.
Okay.
All right, April.
What should you do when
My hearing aid
800
batteries gone.
A client
Oh,
falls,
okay.
what should you do?
You make the client comfortable. You don't try to move them. And you contact their family, I would say right away, and the office.
I was going to say, most of us actually don't have access to their family's numbers.
Yeah.
So you call the office and you say, this client has fallen, please contact their family. The family might be close enough that they can come over, or if they're not, then the office will tell you call 911. Even if they're on hospice, it does not cost anything to call 911. There's no charge until they get in the ambulance. Just so you know, people need to know that because people are like, no, don't call 911. It's going to cost me $1,000. And that's not true. Okay.
Well, and they will even check, you know, I had a client fall. I just found him on the floor, you know, and he had fallen during the night. And they were able to come and check his vitals.
Right. And they're able to check for,
for
they are able to check for like head injuries, getting their, all of that stuff to kind of, and if the person is on hospice, it's okay. Because you're not asking them to resuscitate them. You're not asking them to do anything other than to help you get them up off the floor.
So you don't call the hospice nurse then, in that case?
You could. We should always let the hospice nurse when something happens, especially if the reason he fell was due to something that they need to be aware of. But it's just that we can call 911 without it being the wrong thing to do. It's always the right thing to do. All right, but call the office first in case family lives 2 doors down and they can just run in, right?
unless it's serious.
Yeah. Good, thank you. All right, Cheryl.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yeah.
It's also good to I know a while back, you guys sent us a video on how to help a client up, the best ways to help. I mean after the family gets there, because I had a time when the family got there, and the family was we had checked everything was fine, the lady was fine. I had made her stay on the ground until the family got there. But then together, I knew some of the best ways to help her get up because of some of the videos I watched from training
Right.
up here.
Okay.
So I'm just saying after, yes, please call the office and then the family, but then sometimes when they're not hurting and they're like, hey, I just want to get up now, there are better ways to do that than others.
Well, and
That's all
our
I'm saying.
policy is you don't do it alone.
But I was doing it with
Yeah,
your daughter.
right,
So the
right.
daughter and I were together
Right.
after I
And you
we
had
laid
the
there
daughter's
for a while.
permission,
Oh,
but
she asked me
but
to help her, yeah.
we don't do that because normally we don't have family members saying, please help me get her up. We wait until people that are, we usually wait till 911 comes and does it. But yes, there are ways to do that, not by yourself. And in training, we can discuss that, but that's a topic for another day. All right. And we have, and you're,
Oh, sorry.
Emily, she hasn't even trained yet. She came to in-service without even getting any training yet. So,
Jump right in.
so go ahead and choose something here.
We'll do policies for 800.
Policies for 800. Okay, client confidentiality. What does that mean? I know you know.
It's not supposed to share their information with your other ladies or.
We don't share information about our clients with anyone, right? What if they did something really, really funny and we just have to tell somebody?
Tell your husband, he don't know anybody.
If you're talking to your husband, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and you say, I have a client who, but you're not giving names, you're not giving addresses, you're not giving conditions, you're not giving any private information. But also, whatever you do, you want to make sure you're respectful and that you're not telling a story that then is demeaning. Because I was at a church activity where the guy gets up and he works at a mental hospital and he entertained the entire ward for about 30 minutes telling stories about the people he worked with. And I walked away from that meeting thinking, what does he say about me when I'm not there? You know, what funny story can he tell about me? And it just was totally inappropriate. This was all before HIPAA and whatever, but still, I mean, do you want someone talking to you that way about you? Because you're incapable of doing something and you can't help but do something funny. So it's something we just want to be extra mindful of. But feel free to come in here and talk to us anytime because you can talk to us.
I have a, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would say also, we've been told not to post, take any
Yes.
pictures, no posting on.
Yep,
the
no
internet
posting, no
whatsoever.
pictures, you're
Doesn't
right.
matter what kind of picture.
That's right.
It's for their privacy.
That's right. We don't have permission to do anything, any kind of social media with them or anything. What did you want to say, Karen?
Oh, I just wanted to tell about an incident that happened here quite a few years ago.
Come up and get in the camera.
We just be careful when you're talking to each other if you're changing shifts. We had 2 caregivers in Walsburg at the time we were in there, and they were trading. One was coming on, the other was coming off. They had a mutual client in American Fork, and they were just talking about this client and exchanging stories and just kind of talking and didn't really think much of it. And then a few days later, Gary got a call saying that from the son of this client in Walsburg, saying that he knew more about his friend over in American Fork than he ever wanted to know. And so this family knew this other family in American Fork. And it was so it just shows you it's a small world. And it was very unsettling. I don't know if you remember this, Cindy, but it was just, you just don't know who knows who. And you just cannot talk. You don't know who's listening. You don't know who knows who. And it was embarrassing for us as a company and very unprofessional. So just remember not to do that. Okay.
All right, great. Okay, am I back to this side over here, Angela?
Okay, Diane, I'll do personal care for 600, please.
600. She's being. Is it okay to handle medication?
If you've been told to.
We're able to do over-the-counter medication. Your insulin stick, which you might be thinking of, you're holding it, but you're handing it them to do something with it because we're not allowed to. We can put the clean needle on it, and get it ready for them, but we can't twist and get to the right number, and we can't be the one to stick them. And we cannot be the ones to measure out a dose of medication. That's what the family has to do, or another nurse, like their hospice company or something. If you have any questions on that, we'll talk about it afterwards.
But you
Okay.
can be the one to look at the dial with them.
Yes.
With them. This is what the doctor said. This is 26
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. You do have it at the right number, so you've got it right.
A little bit more.
Or it looks to me like it's on 23, so you need to dial it up a little bit more. Yep, you got it this time. Yeah. So that part's acceptable. All right. Here we go.
Then are we talking about also you can anything that's over the counter?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mentioned over the counter. However, it's a good idea to say, to call the office and say the client is asking for Tylenol, because we want to make sure, and we want to check progress notes, because if the person just ahead of you gave Tylenol, we don't want to be giving it too soon. But we are able to handle things that are over the counter. But it's always good to check care notes, progress notes, and check with the office before you hand anything out, just to make sure. All right, Michael.
Let's go scheduling 700.
All right. The way to respond to text from scheduling.
In the message.
That's good.
The speed. Let's narrow it down. We're talking
as
speed.
soon as you can.
As soon
Okay.
as you can.
If you're in class, we understand. If it's a boring class and you then you can look at your phone. But be as quick as you can. Recording, last week we had like 6 caregivers call out sick, because that's just the time of year it is. And, you've got 3 people, and then the other, so it can end up being 10 clients that we've all of a sudden got to find people to fill these shifts. And the scheduling office is a high stress job. So anytime you're in, go in, say hi, thank them for the job they're doing, because they really work hard. And so by answering your texts as quickly as you can, even if the answer is no, then that helps them move on, instead of saying, well, I have 2 more people I'm hoping to hear back from. And if they're both no, and you just, I don't need to tell them the answer's no, my silence is an answer. Well, no, it's not. So make sure you answer as possible.
What if you get that text like an hour and a half after they've sent it?
Then go ahead and still respond and say, hey, I just got this. Sorry about that. Hope it's been cared for. That way they know you responded, you saw it. And, and knowing it's good to just kind of be checking whenever you're available. Even if you have your phone on silent because you're with another shift or something, it's good every once in a while to go, no, the office hasn't called. Good. Okay. So, because we only try to contact you when we feel it's very important, right? So we just hope you'll respond as quickly as you can. All right. I think I am over to Lacey.
We'll do on your shift 700.
700. What is a DNR? Do not resuscitate. Okay, if someone has a DNR, it should be in their care notes. It should also, there should be a big, huge paper that they've filled out on their fridge or somewhere very prominent, so that you know. Does that stop you from calling 911? No, it doesn't. If there's an issue, still call 911, and then, but they'll come and say, do they have a DNR? And you say, yes, they do, right here. And then they will determine what care they're able to give this person in respecting the DNR. But they can still keep them comfortable. If you've got somebody choking, that's not a DNR, that's a comfort measure, right? They would breathe if they could, and that's very painful. If any of you've ever choked on something, that really hurt. All right, so by the way, if you guys don't like Smarties, Tori's taking, Tori likes them, so feel free to drop them off to her if you're like, I like them, but not that much. Okay. All right, so we're back over here to Karen.
Okay, First,
Is the DNR, sorry, is it always like a blue sheet, or they can be pink or blue?
They can be kind of any color, actually. A lot of times they're like an orangish yellow, but I've seen them blue, and I've seen them white. So,
oh, go ahead.
but the bottom line is it really doesn't matter what color it is.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
should you do when 700?
Okay.
All right, so now we are, Karen, what did you say?
What should you do for 700?
What should you do when?
Yeah.
What should you do when a client doesn't want you there?
Cry.
Go away. Leave me alone. I don't need you. I already cleaned my house.
You could lurk.
Yeah.
Lurk around the corner and call the office. Make sure they're safe.
Don't leave them, but you can go out of their sight and call the office, and we might have tricks up our sleeve. We can call the family. We can, we have one client that if you just go in there and say, hi, I'm here, he might not be that happy you're there, but as soon as you mention his nephew, Michael asked me to come in and check on you. Well, then come on in, and that's all, that's the trick. Just say the nephew's name and you're in the door. So, good answer. All right, Dana. Is it Dana or Dana? Dana, okay. I know people with both, and I just don't know which one, sorry.
Soft day. Personal care for 7.
Ugh. What should caregivers know about hair and nails trimming? We don't do it. We can use an emery board. We can use an emery board and kind of help them get a jagged edge, but no, we are not allowed to do
I
any
know,
trimming.
but now we're not supposed
Good.
to do.
So, there you
We
go.
didn't know
All
about
right.
that.
Cindy.
I think it was okay back then. Oh, go ahead, Cindy.
Yeah,
Oh.
things have, some policies have changed through the years.
Yeah.
Cindy.
Personal care for 500.
Describe the procedure for washing dentures. And there's really only one procedure part that we really want to know
The
about.
little thing that you put it in with the tablet.
What if you're needing to brush them?
The thing that always gets me is the washcloth in the sink. Something soft in the sink so that if you drop them, they don't break. And soft bristles, because you could actually damage them if you use a toothbrush. And they're very expensive.
Dentures cost at least $3,000, and Medicare will only pay for them like every 3 or 4 years, something like that. Sorry about that. I'm a very bad shot. So the worst thing we could do would be to break their dentures, and now they've got to go a couple years before they can get them fixed because we didn't put a towel. So don't worry that it's going to get all wet. That's what washing machines are for. So, but just always make sure you have something. That's what you have, something in the sink that can catch them in case you drop them. Of course, it's better if you don't drop them, but they're called accidents for a reason because we don't mean for them to happen. All right. So April, I think it's your turn, or did I?
I did have a question though. So like if they didn't have soft bristles, maybe you could use a washcloth to like
That would be better.
wash
Using
it
a
with-
washcloth instead of a regular toothbrush?
Yes.
Excellent idea.
With mild dish soap or something.
Yep. Some kind of thing
Not
mild.
dish, probably not
Also-
dish soap.
Also,
but
they're not real
Yeah.
teeth. They don't need the
Yeah.
actual toothpaste with the, all those things in it. They're
right.
made out of porcelain. So really, you could just clean them with any kind of very mild soap or just water.
Or water or vinegar. Vinegar.
Vinegar is the best. Okay, there you go. I learned
I
something
wouldn't
new
want
today.
to use soap.
All
dish soap.
right, Cheryl.
Oh, over here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How about we go policy 700?
Policy 700. I need someone to tell me when it's 1:45.
Okay,
Okay.
I will.
If a client wants you to work an extra shift, who should you let know?
They should talk to Aspen. I always direct them to call.
They
us.
need to
That
talk
sounds
to.
great. You go ahead and call the office and we'll get it worked out for you.
Perfect. Good answer. I'm running out on Marty's,
don't-
just so
oh.
you know. But I'll give them out till.
Give them out till they're gone.
So yes, that sounds great. I can see why you want another shift. I'm available. Tell the office that I'm more than happy to do it if they're looking for somebody. But make sure you call the office because they need to get it on my schedule. Good answer. Okay, we're over here to Emily. On your shift for 600. What is cell phone protocol on a shift? Yeah, it's a good idea to check and see if Aspen's trying to get a hold of you. What else do you need your phone for on a shift? We need it for documentation. We need it for our checklist of what we need to do during the shift. We clock in, we clock out. And you're like, well, so obviously I need my phone, right? It's kind of, we get texts. So I didn't bring my phone on the shift, so I couldn't do anything. So here's when I got there, here's when I left, here's all my information. So we do need our phones, but what shouldn't we use our phone for?
Personal use.
Playing
Personal use.
games.
No texting, emailing, social media, any of that stuff. Someone from our last in-service pointed out that they usually will say, just so you know, I'm getting out my phone because I'm going to document or I'm going to do things. That's why I have my phone out, so that they aren't going, she was on her phone the whole time she was here, blah, blah, blah. You know, because we do get comments like that sometimes, you know. She was just playing on her phone the whole time she was here. So it's good to let them know why you're on your phone. Okay, good. I don't know where I'm at.
Over here.
Michael, I'm with you.
Do scheduling 600.
All righty. How can you check your schedule?
On the Elia Care app.
On the Elia Care app. So you'll want to download Elia Care because, yes, like I said, Emily hasn't even been trained yet, so she's coming in tomorrow. You're going to have less questions for me. That's going to be great. So your Elia Care app. If you think you've agreed, it's good to check your Elia Care app and make sure that you've agreed to whatever shows up and that the ones you think should be there are there, because there are sometimes when mistakes do happen. So it's a good thing to check your app and make sure that you know about all the shifts we think you're going to do. Okay? All right. Angela.
What should you do when 600?
What should you do when a client won't eat?
Depends on why they're not eating.
True. They just don't feel like it. They just aren't hungry. But they also only weigh about 75 pounds and they're wasting away.
Are
And
they on hospice?
see, she is on top of stuff.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're right.
You
It does.
want them to be comfortable, but also if they're on hospice, you're not forcing them to get the nutrition.
It's
we
situational.
never force, right?
Yeah.
We never force. They have the right to not be forced. Well, even 2-year-olds, you really can't force them. They'll spit it out. But no, we never force. But we can encourage. And one thing we can do to encourage is either just, you know, oh, hey, here's some of that pudding, instead of, I'll get you some pudding if you want it. Or here's some pudding. Does not look, here, do you want some? Try to, you know, be a little more proactive in trying to get them to. The other thing you can do is make it into a social event. Get out your lunch, that's your own food and not theirs, and say, hey, well, let's have lunch together. Because, you know, we're programmed to eat whenever we socialize, right? How many of you have gone to a party and had a great time and there was no food? Doesn't happen, right? Not in this continent anyway, right? So if you get out that food and you're like, hey, well, you know, and you get and you turn it into a social event, then you might get them to eat something. April, did you have something?
I think especially offering like water and just offering different choices.
Offering different choices. I'm repeating some of what you say because you're not picked up by the mic, and I want the recording to know. So it's not that I'm dumb and don't.
No, that you.
But okay. So yes, offering it often. And sometimes we'll just take a little sip or just a little bite. You know, they don't have to eat a ton, just something. All right, great. Okay, Michael,
Karen.
Karen, I'm glad you guys are paying attention.
Policies for
I don't know.
600.
Policies for 600. Okay, how do you check for client updates or provider notes?
Oh, Alaya Care.
That app is so good at so many things.
Some of these are redundant, I'm noticing.
Yes,
I did
that's
them.
okay. If you click on your Alaya Care on the person, then a little thing comes down that says caregiver notes. You click on that and then it gives you tons of information. And
you go into progress notes.
yes, if you go into progress
progress
notes, you
notes.
can see what other people have written and kind of give an idea.
From the previous shifts, and that's really good to know too.
Gives you an idea of kind of where your client's at. All right, Lacey.
On your shift,
What personal information should you share with the client about you?
Positive updates.
Positive and upbeat things. But, you know, I have 3 children and they're wonderful. I've got it. One loves to run track. The other one got married last week. Things like that are very upbeat and fun. It's good to share. You've helped them think of positive things. But my son has surgery next week. I'm really worried about my husband because he just, don't take any of your burdens in. It's one of the things that you need to take with you on your shift is a good attitude. Leave all your troubles behind you in your car and walk in with, hey, we are having a great day. Feel free to come into the office and say, I am having a crappy day. This and this is going on, and I'm so concerned about this and that and the other. We will surround the wagons and help you feel loved and supported and let you know how much we care about what's going on. Just don't give it to your clients because they love you, right? You love your clients, they love you. And when you tell them your issues, now they've got to pray for you and they've got to worry about you because they love you as much as they love their own children, right? Don't you have clients like that?
Yeah.
And you've given them more to worry about. And we don't want to give them more to worry about. We want to go in and have good, happy times that take away some of their cares and worries. So, good. All right. Okay.
What should you do when for 500?
500. I'm sorry, I'm done giving these out. Okay. There is leftover food. What should you do with leftover food?
Check to make sure that it's good, and if it's not, that gets to be crazy sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes they get annoyed if you throw their food away, even though it's bad.
Yes. If you have to throw away bad food, make sure you do it when they're not watching. Yes. But they've just finished dinner. They only ate 5 or 6 bites of the dinner. What are you going to do with it? You're going to cover it and date it. Because the next person who comes in needs to get an idea of how old it is so they know whether or not they need to toss it or if it's safe to serve it, right? So yeah, be proactive on that and realize, I mean, we've got clients that they live alone and we go in and we feed them and the family has given us all this food and we're just grabbing from what's there, but we kind of have to know, well, how long has this food been open? Was it 3 days ago? Was it last week? Was it just this morning? All of that helps us to make sure we're serving good food. All right, so.
It's probably.
Yeah, it's time for me to go. So I'm going to turn it over to her because I've got to run.
Okay, could you take the cake upstairs and just leave it up there?
I thought you were going to say take off your microphone.
No, I have.
You don't want to hear me as I pick up my clients.
No. Thank you.
Is the cake in the fridge?
It's in the fridge, so if you just take it upstairs. Thank you.
That way, if it's only 8 pieces, they're bigger.
I'm going to cut up the rest of the cake. Okay, over here. I don't know who it was. Anyone want to pick one? Oh, Dana?
So we'll do policies for 5.
Okay. What's the policy on accepting gifts?
That's not accurate.
So,
about this, right?
So
You sent this out.
you can actually,
Not quite.
You can.
Close.
you can accept small tokens of appreciation. If it's, always ask the office. If it's under like value of $20, isn't that about right?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, because at Christmas time, a lot of times your
And
clients
that's fine.
are going to want to give you a little token of something.
Some will get frustrated if you don't.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't want to accidentally take the family heirloom
Right.
and accept that. That would be something that would make everybody in
yeah.
the family upset. So,
If but check, always check with the office.
and there are times that we have had families who do want to donate money or something that does need to go through the office.
Yeah.
So we check on that.
There was one client that was adamant that I don't remember who the caregiver was, they were going to give money to him, said, if you don't give money. Anyway, it just was so agitated, and then she finally took the money, and it was like $2,000.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of money, but she brought the money to the office, let the family know that she took the money from him. He calmed down, and that was the end of it as far as he was concerned.
Right.
So
And
the
brought it,
agitation came down.
But did
Yeah.
the right thing, and then of course we
brought it to
worked
the,
it out.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with people who have memory loss and dementia, so we have to be very careful how we handle those situations.
yeah. So always
Especially
check.
if it's an item or something else. His family gets weird if you took my token thing that I really wanted, and yeah, then it gets weird.
Okay. Cheryl.
We'll do scheduling 500.
Okay. What is considered on time to your shift? Yeah, 5 minutes early.
Let's say that for the camera.
Oh,
5 minutes early.
five.
Okay. 5 minutes early.
Yep.
That's what Gary always.
Gary always said 5 minutes early so that you've clocked in, you've been able to read progress notes, and you're not just rushing in a bunch in the door. You are composed and ready to go in. Okay. Over here, April.
How about on your shift?
Okay. What should you do if you don't think you can transfer a client safely?
Well, you shouldn't transfer them. You know,
Right.
Some of them can be,
Well,
yeah,
Oh,
but to get,
yeah. Don't do it. Call the office if you can't do it safely. We can send someone out to help you. We can see if there's a family member or figure out a way, but realize if you don't think it's safe, don't do it. Okay. Michael?
Go policies 400.
Policies 400. Okay. Making arrangements to work privately for a client. That's a no-no, right? That you signed a contract that you wouldn't, and they also signed a contract that they wouldn't. And there's a reason behind that. Aspen goes to a lot of effort and money with training and bonding and insurance. We cover you in case you have. I know that we had to replace a washing machine once, a really expensive washing machine, because the caregiver didn't read the directions and ruined it. I mean, there's just a lot of training and things that go into that. So it's for your protection. And
yeah, I think there are the double sides to that. I mean, but the part we're most concerned about is that you're taking care of as caregivers. So we send out others who've already made sure that you're in a good, safe place. There are other companies we've heard of that have had like drug runs with their caregivers, like with the police. It was like kind of craziness to us, but we don't ever put you in difficult spots. So that's one of the reasons it's better for you to have somebody who's going out for you and looking out for you. You have a whole team to back you up if there are any questions. You have the training that's amazing. You have the scheduling team that can get you help anytime you need it. And I mean, there are a lot of reasons that you want to be part of this, and you're insured if you mess up. You're insured if something happens to you, where if you were not with the company, you would not have those protections. And like even taxes, that's all taken care of for you. You won't run into trouble with the IRS if you make sure that it's taken care of appropriately. Yet the seniors may not know how to do all that process. So
that is a really good point, because sometimes some of the places we've been called to do assessments are really sketchy, and it's like, would you want to send your, would you even want to go in there? And no,
and we just don't, if that's the case. So you never even see
you
those
ever even
people.
know about it. Yeah. Okay.
Or if there is somebody who's in a difficult situation, we'll talk about them as an office, and we'll say, do you feel like we could send 2 guys in there or something to make it safer? And then we would talk to them and see if they wanted to try to do that. If it is somebody in a desperate situation who's a good person with a good heart, that we still want to help. But we generally, it's almost never. So
yeah. Okay. Over here, Emily. Okay. When should you wear gloves? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, when you're preparing food for the client, when you're doing personal care.
Right. Preparing.
You know, it's nice to use it for taking out garbage and other things that. Yeah.
Right. Household chores. Preparing food is something that you don't think of sometimes, but actually preparing food is one that I do, and we encourage you to if you're preparing food. Certainly personal care. And in one of the other classes, someone had a really good idea of double gloving. And so that way, if you are, I can't remember the circumstances.
Well, she was just saying, if you have a brief change or something and your glove gets messy, but you still need to keep working and helping. You have one, you have another one, you take it off and toss it, and then.
I thought that was awesome. I'm going to do that next time.
So yeah, that was a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, but when I'm cleaning the toilet and the bathroom, I always wear gloves. My shifts right now, I don't need to prepare food, but if I were, I would be doing that. So anyway, okay. Cindy.
What should you do for 400?
Okay. Now it's getting really warm in here. You are preparing food. We just kind of did that one. So,
definitely gloves. That's it.
Any allergies that they might have.
That is a good idea. Yeah.
Strong dislikes.
Make sure that you know if they have allergies, if they're what did you just say? Allergies. Strong likes, dislikes. No.
When did they eat last?
Yeah. Sorry. This is like.
And that's a good case for double gloving, because sometimes you might have to handle something like eggs or something that you might then have to change.
Right. Okay. Good job. Okay.
The scheduling for him.
Okay. What's the policy if you don't show up for an assigned shift and don't call?
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble. So the policy is you get dismissed, but actually what will happen is that you will have a conversation with Allison. So Allison's our care manager. So we don't just, we understand there's extenuating circumstances. So, and like we said in the earlier class, we're all family here. So we'll find out what happened, but Allison said she will have a conversation with you. Okay, so there's that.
And we hope that doesn't happen very often, because it sends our scheduling team into a tailspin.
Into frenzy.
And it's pretty crazy. And I mean, there's enough craziness going on in the scheduling room, with, especially like right now where everybody's sick. Like they arrive on Monday morning to 7 or 8 people who can't be there. They arrive to my mother, who's on services, having COVID, and we had to make sure all of her caregivers would still go help her. And one missed that message and left. And so it's okay, but just do your very best to show up for assignments and give us notice.
And sometimes they won't call. Like last year, one of my clients, when I went on the next shift, she was like, no one showed up last night. And I'm like, well, did you call the office? And they were like, no, we just figured, something happened. And I'm like, well, you should call the office. And they're like, no. So I'm like, you know.
Sometimes they'll call,
and,
sometimes they
and it
won't.
hurts her. She's like, well, it kind of hurt my feelings. Like, well, it wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
So
And
anyway.
we have some who are pretty serious that we can't leave alone. They're 24/7 clients that
Yeah.
if no one's there, that's really a problem. So it means that either whoever's scheduled before stays a little bit longer until we can get there. And we're kind of last line. The whole office team, we all go out and do shifts, and if we need to, we'll go. So
okay, Michael, we might get through these, maybe.
Personal care 300.
Okay. Why are documentation and client signatures important?
It proves you did the job that you were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it actually, it does prove that you did what you, if it wasn't documented or signed, it didn't happen. That's kind of like how state laws are. But also with our long-term care clients, it absolutely has to be signed. Same with our Mountain Land clients, our MAG clients. It has to be signed in order for us to get paid. So it just really is important to make sure those signatures, that we get accurate documentation and the signatures. Okay. Lacey.
Policies 300.
Okay. What should you do if you need more training or support?
we're your team.
Oh, sorry. What?
I was just saying, we're your team.
Oh, yeah.
Just call us
We're
if
your
you're not
team.
comfortable. We're
We're
so happy to make
actually,
sure
yeah,
you're
if you need
feeling
more
confident.
training or support, when I first started, I had some of the most difficult, well, I was new, I didn't really know anything. And I came by the office so many times, I thought they were just totally sick of me. But they really did.
They were not
They
sick of her.
probably, they might have been, but they were
weren't. We
so
love her.
nice. And they really did help me and talk me through some of the stuff that, I mean, I had a client just start screaming for no reason I could figure out. And they talked me through some stuff that, you know, and reassured me it wasn't my fault, even though I totally felt like it was my fault. But they were so supportive. And also the training, especially if you're working with a dementia client, though these clients are so hard, but they need so much support. So don't be afraid to come in and ask for training.
And then let's just take off.
Okay. Yeah, because we're almost done. Yeah. Okay. What should you always have in your scrub pockets? What do you think?
Gloves.
Gloves and hand sanitizer. What should you do if you aren't feeling well? Oh, wait. And have a shift? Is that one we covered? Or what did I just take off?
Yeah.
that
Okay.
Text
Text office as soon as you aren't feeling well, or call. Yeah.
And I guess what we were pointing out is if you have like you're nauseous and you're throwing up and you have any bodily fluids that we're having issues,
Don't come.
don't go. That's for sure, no go. However, if you have a little bit of a sniffle, it might be allergies, it might be a migraine or something, and you feel like you still want to go, then call the office, let them know, and then you'll probably still go. So
Also, yeah, and the idea too is as soon as you start feeling sick, like let the office know. Like I get migraines, and sometimes I can tell if it's going to be bad, and I know I'm not going to be able to get rid of it. I let them know as soon as possible. But if I can make it through the shift, I can make it through the shift. So the idea is let them know so they have time to work on it. Okay. And then if there's an emergency, call the office. And the after hours phone, you can text them and you'll get a message back saying this is after hours. But if it's a caregiver, call. So call, and they'll either, if they can't answer right away, they will call you right back. Okay. So don't ever hesitate to call, even if it's after hours. Someone will always be able, you'll always be able to reach someone within a short amount of time.
and if it's a dangerous emergency, just call 911.
Call
And
911.
then call us second.
Okay.
So
Okay.
911's first. I want you to all feel like you can call 911, regardless of if they're on hospice or not. If you need support, then you call. And that's
Okay.
the call that you're going to make in that moment. I mean, technically, hospice is, you don't really have to call, but it's fine if you do call. So any situation that's urgent that you're worried about and you need help right away, call 911, then call us and we'll send back up and help.
Okay. Thank you all so much. And did you want to say?
Oh, I did want to say, just drop by the little scheduling office upstairs. You meet our pet therapy dog, is what he kind of is in the office. We love him. He's new. And we're trying to help that room be the less stressed room that there can be. So when you come in, you can actually, as caregivers, kind of spend some time with our little puppy, and you can go visit with our scheduling team and feel some camaraderie, especially if you have hard clients or something going on. So anyway, go meet them today. Just go say hi to them briefly and make sure you know the scheduling team. So that's important for our new ones to go up. Some of our old ones already know Rupert really well, but they're a great team. They're super supportive.
I also forgot to mention, these are our dates for February. Every month we have a Caregiver Appreciation Day where you can come by and have a light lunch or snack and just hang out or talk to us if you want. Also, Allison, we keep a snack board kind of back in scheduling for you guys to come by and grab a snack if you're running by and just want to come by and say hi. And also, we just really appreciate you, and we want to make this year a positive year, and we're going to try to celebrate all year long. Okay, so welcome. Come up and have some cake, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And we'll turn this off.